Hello everyone and welcome back to Xbox Nation. My name is Fletcher and this is the video where we take a look at the upcoming Xbox and Xbox Game Pass games for this week and to really see if any of them are worth your time and or money. We have some lovely brand new additions to Xbox Game Pass this week, including 2 day one titles, and we even have a huge Xbox Developer Direct on Thursday. This week is certainly going to be pretty exciting, and with that, let's just dive right into it. First up this week, we have a brand new Metroidvania, and this one is also hitting Xbox Game Pass as a day one release. MIO Memories in Orbit places you in the shoes of the titular MIO, who is a nimble robot with extraordinary abilities. You will wake up aboard a vessel, and this enormous technological ark, whose initial purpose still remains pretty unknown, lies now as a field of ruins, overgrown with lush vegetation and machines gone rogue. Like any Metroidvania, you can of course expect to explore the world, understand what's been going on, and that's alongside fighting ruthless enemies and some absolutely insane looking bosses. I think this could be a real hidden gem on the Xbox Game Pass library, and you can expect my full review to go live on Monday at 4 PM UK time, so make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on that video. With Requiem grabbing everyone's attention lately, Xbox is finally bringing Resident Evil Village to the service, and it feels perfectly timed. If you're unfamiliar, this one is set years after RE7, and the game once again puts you in control of Ethan Winters, but this time trapped in a twisted European settlement where every step feels dangerous. It's often ranked among some of the best entries within the series thanks to its striking environments, memorable villains, and polished presentation. Players have constantly praised the atmosphere and storytelling, along with some of the genuinely intense moments. Horror games aren't really within my comfort zone, so I haven't played this one myself. Still, the universal praise for it really does speak for itself. For Game Pass Ultimate and Premium subscribers who enjoy survival horror, this is a brand new massive edition and totally worth checking out. Riot Games is finally entering the fighting genre with 2XKO, and they're bringing their popular League of Legends universe to brawlers for the very first time. This 2 vs 2 fighter is built around teamwork and synergy. You'll basically pick 2 champions and then face off in fast-paced battles that really reward quick reflexes and also strategy. The combat system is very deep from what I've seen so far, but is very approachable to newcomers with loads of combos, special moves, and even character abilities designed to really keep it engaging. Whether you're a fighting game veteran or you're just a beginner, 2XKO looks to offer something for every sort of player. And because it's free to play, there's no excuse not to give it a shot when it finally drops this week. Every champion also comes with their own unique abilities inspired by their League of Legends counterparts, meaning fans of this franchise will feel right at home with it. This finally lands onto Xbox this week, as I just mentioned, and I know many fighting fans just cannot wait for it. If you somehow thought The Last Faith was already brutal enough, well, it's getting another DLC that looks ready to make things even worse. Awakened Ancients is dropping on the 20th of January, and it's clearly aimed at people who have already survived the base game and want more of that punishment. If you've played through Eric's story already, you know the deal by now. It's got tight combat, little room for mistakes, and a world that absolutely does not care about you. This DLC looks like more of that though, but turned up a notch. There'll be new enemies, new weapons, and more of that bleak gothic atmosphere that the game does so bloody well. It's still the same Souls-like Metroidvania mix, just darker and a lot meaner. This one has always massively gone under the radar on Xbox, and I do suspect this is your first time that many of you have ever even heard of it. For me, Dynasty Warriors Origins really ended up being a really pleasant surprise when it dropped last January. I was a little unsure about it focusing on a single main character, but it actually worked pretty well, and the game felt like a solid return to form for this series. So why bring it up again now? Well, because a brand new, fairly chunky DLC is finally coming to Xbox on the 22nd of January, and I'm really excited for it. It's called Visions of the Four Heroes, and it really looks to shake up things by letting you ally with characters outside the traditional Three Kingdom structure. Think alternate history scenarios where figures like Lu Bu and Yuan Shao actually fight alongside you instead of against you. You'll also get to play as Yuhei, a key supporting character from the main story, but with the release just around the corner, this DLC is really shaping up to be an awesome excuse to just dive back into it. Cult of the Lamb is also getting another big DLC, and honestly, it's kind of wild how much support this game keeps getting. The expansion is now called Woolhaven, and it is set to arrive this week. This will be the 5th paid DLC for the game now, and the first major one that we've seen since 2024. We did get a brand new trailer that did show up a few months back now, and it hinted at things getting even stranger than we usually come to expect. There's going to be a new antagonist on the way as well, some properly unsettling enemy designs, and what looks like brand new weapons, including a heavy ball and chain setup that feels very on brand for this game. It also seems like your cult itself might actually be dealing with some new problems back at base, not just during dungeon runs. Cult of the Lamb has always been great at mixing these cute visuals with genuinely dark ideas, and Woolhaven looks like it's doubling down on that formula in a very big way. This week, Xbox players are finally getting their turn with Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade. After being announced way back in 2025 now, it's now locked in this week for the 22nd of January, and it actually marks the first time the complete remake experience lands onto our Xbox consoles. That means the full Midgard story, plus of course the Yuffie-focused intermission DLC, which also kind of helps bridge the gap towards Rebirth, which is also coming to Xbox potentially this year. I've spent some time with the demo now, and it honestly plays pretty great. Performance has been solid on both the Xbox Series X and S consoles, and I was actually surprised with how well it did run on the Series S. Whether you're coming back to the game or wanting to jump in for the very first time, just like me, then this feels like one of those releases that's been a long time coming. I will try to get a review up just slightly after launch, as it does seem as though I might not get a pre-release copy unfortunately, so do stay tuned for my review in a few days' time. I've always had a real soft spot for strategy games, and the Anno series has been a personal favourite of mine for years at this point. While we still don't have anything like that on Xbox Game Pass, a smaller indie project now called Nova Roma has definitely caught my attention. It's going to be a city builder that's inspired by Anno, but with a sort of clean, low-poly art style with a Roman twist. The idea is to essentially establish a brand new Roman Empire far from the original, starting from absolutely nothing. You'll then slowly grow your own population, unlock different resources, and then expand your city with everything from housing districts to massive infrastructure projects. It's very much that classic supply chain focused gameplay loop, just presented in a sort of simpler and more stylized way. It is launching into early access, so expectations should certainly be tempered, but it's only going to be available on PC Game Pass right now, so if you have a PC or the ROG Ally, then this one is certainly worth keeping your eye on. This next one came out of nowhere for me, and it's another indie that started live on Kickstarter and actually made its way across the finish line and is coming this week. Escape from Ever After takes clear inspiration from the likes of the classic Paper Mario style RPGs, but it does its own thing within the setup. It hit Xbox this week on the 23rd, and the tone is way more playful than most RPGs. The story is going to be centered around a real-world corporation that's barging into fairy tales and treating them like a workforce, which is exactly as ridiculous as it sounds. You'll then play as a newly minted hero who quickly realizes the system is broken and then decides to fight back from the inside. The environments look incredibly colourful and creative, and that turn-based combat seems really straightforward but incredibly fun. If you're like me and if you're in the mood for something a little bit lighter this week, then this one could be a nice change of pace for you. I genuinely can't believe this next game is a thing, but Ebola Village is certainly a choice. It comes from the boldly named Indie Game Studio and describes itself as a classic 90s survival horror game which is doing a lot of heavy lifting. If you remember it all, it's probably because it went semi-viral a few weeks ago for how closely it mirrors Resident Evil, right down to the font within its key art. The Steam version already raised some eyebrows with some rough translation, strange warnings about having a weak psyche, and then AI art being proudly labelled as neural network generated. What's more surprising is that it's now heading to Xbox this week on the 23rd as well, complete with an officially promoted trailer, which I can't believe they really posted. The gameplay looks extremely familiar as well, with axe-throwing villagers, chainsaws, and parasite-style enemies straight out of RE4. At this point, it doesn't feel like inspiration and just like a bit of AI slop, but if you are interested, then yeah, it will be available to you soon. To make you all aware as well, we also have our first Xbox Retro Classics games of the brand new year. 4 titles have now been added to the library, including 3 old school games straight from Activision's 80s catalogue. The new additions to the Xbox Retro Classic Collection this month are Keystone Capers, Laser Gates, Rise of the Dragon, and Sky Patrol. These are from the Atari and the Amiga, and they are of course some great old school Activision titles for you to dive into. Of course, you can get access to these if you have Xbox Game Pass, or if you purchase a subscription to the Classics Collection on your console. I do want to make you aware as well that I do remember that this week is the Xbox Developer Direct Showcase, and we should get some further looks at both Fable, Forza Motorsport, Beast of Reincarnation, and potentially a rumoured 4th game. I will be live streaming the event here on the channel, so do make sure to come back on Thursday the 22nd of January at 6 PM UK time, as I would love to see you all there, and let's just get hyped for some of these brand new releases. As always, make sure to smash that like button as well if you enjoyed this video, and I'd love to see us get around 800 likes, so make sure to hit that and subscribe for more Xbox content on a daily basis. If you are curious to see what Xbox has in the pipeline though regarding action RPGs, then click out the video on screen now, as I did cover 15 brand new ones heading our way this year.